If I told you, if I told you just half of everything I've always wanted to.
Welcome back, Kimberly. Today I thought I'd come on here and just talk to you guys. Just have a raw and honest conversation about how I've been doing, how I've really been doing. I talk a lot about various things regarding mental health, and I've shared bits and pieces of my own mental health journey. But today I just wanted to give you an update about where I'm at right now, because I'm at a very interesting point in my life. And I think it'll be really cool to be able to look back on this video even in like 6 months from now and see where I was and how much I have hopefully grown since then. How have I been doing? As you know, in January I went through a breakup. It was the first relationship I had been in since losing my husband, and we dated for 8 months, and he was a very significant person in my life. He really helped me through obviously an extremely difficult time, and I left that relationship with so many valuable lessons. One of the biggest ones being that I learned I could love again. That gives me a lot of hope for the future, and I think if I hadn't gone through that experience, I might still be feeling like there's no way I could love anyone other than Landon. But I know that's possible for me, and I know that's out there. I also learned that I'm very codependent. At that point in January when we broke up, I realized I had never at any point in my life really been happy with being alone. Being single and being fulfilled in that has never been something I experienced, and that has had a huge effect on all my relationships. When you feel like you need that person to be happy, that just sets the relationship up to fail. So in January, I told myself that I would not be dating anyone for at least a year, and I would find happiness in being alone, and just find happiness in general, really. And take the time to really work on myself. Dig into my issues, reflect, and rethink, reframe things. Initially, I was going to therapy twice a week, journaling every single day, working on my fitness, working on my diet, just overall trying really hard to better myself and putting a lot of energy into that. While also pouring into my kids, pouring into my job, rethinking my whole career and my next step, and thinking about my next step in life and where I want to live and what I want my future to look like for my girls. There was just this huge shift. I feel like a lot was changing. I was making all these plans for the future and then frantically trying to catch up to those plans and plan for those plans, and really questioning if I'd be ready for all that change by the time it came around. I've always known that I wanted to move out of Florida, but I thought I would stay here for a few more years, and then came March, I decided that I definitely want to move, and I decided that that would happen in October when my lease is up. So then after I decided that, it really hit like, whoa. Come October, I will be moving to a whole different state. So much about my life will change all at once, in an instant. And ever since then, I felt all this pressure to be ready for it by then. I made a huge list of all the things I need to get done by then, and then all the things I'll need to get done immediately after the move to kind of set up our new life there. And I realized in the past, when I have moved, I've had a lot of help with that. The first time around, I had Landon. The second time around, I had my whole family, and Landon had just passed away, and they did a lot for me. And this time around, I'm like, I can't rely on anyone else. This is something that I am doing on my own, for myself, for my girls. I can't expect anyone else to do these things for me. And I want to be able to say, I did it all on my own this time. And so all of a sudden, there was all this weight, all this pressure, and also this sense of like, time is running out. October will come faster than I know it. I only have so much time to figure all this out and just catch up to all this change mentally, to feel mentally prepared enough to move to a new city and try to make friends there, to let go of my past, let go of my life here, let go of this era. And all that pressure was really heavy, but also really motivating. I had this fire in me and all this drive, and I was working towards something now. I had felt very stuck here, being in Florida, being in this life that I have now, that I have been living ever since Landon passed. It was hard to have that motivation and that drive because I didn't really feel like I was going anywhere. I didn't have a plan. So to have a goal and something to work towards, it was really refreshing. But I burnt myself out, as I do. I put a lot of expectations on myself. I was not very kind to myself in that when I didn't meet those expectations. Something would always get in my way. Something would always knock me down. Felt like any time I was riding on a high of motivation and drive and inspiration, something would happen that would prevent me from succeeding in that. I would get sick. The kids would get sick. There'd be something going on in my personal life that was causing a strain on me emotionally. Grief would hit me. I wouldn't have childcare for a week. Things just kept happening. It was just one hurdle after another. But I continued to push through and to pick myself back up after every single hurdle. As soon as I was able to again, I was like, all right, I need to keep going, I need to keep going. And about a month and a half ago, it hit a point where life knocked me down again, and it was harder to get back up. And then life knocked me down again, and eventually I just kind of gave up. I'm done with this internal battle of productivity, of always having something that I feel like I need to be doing. Because as time went on, my focus shifted from taking care of myself, because that's where this all started, was me deciding that I'm going to put a lot of energy into doing that, to working on myself, taking care of myself, while also working on those long-term goals. But it slowly shifted away from that and more into, I need to be being productive. I need to be meeting my mark. I need to be working towards these goals always. And I stopped looking out for myself in that. And that's really what caused me to give up. And at that point, my expectations for myself just kind of fell. And for a solid few weeks there, I was doing what I call just bare minimum living. Just trying to get by. Just doing what I absolutely need to do, and just really taking a break from it all. And it felt really nice. But I also felt really guilty and shameful. But I enjoyed the break, and I watched a lot of TV, and I took care of myself in less productive ways, but it still felt nice. There was this sense of peace in knowing that I'm capable of functioning at a higher capacity than this. I know it's obtainable for me. I've seen myself thrive now and be happy on my own. I've done it, and I know I can do it, and I know at some point I will pick myself up again. Because when I'm in a state like that, especially in the past, it's really easy to feel stuck there. Like I won't ever feel better. How in the world can I pick myself up this time? I'm stuck. I'm stuck in bed. I'm stuck in front of the TV, and it feels so good. Why would I ever want to go back to wearing myself out so much? But this time around, I trusted myself. I knew I wouldn't stay there forever. And I think I needed to stay in that place for a while to get that initial motivation back, to get back some of that drive, that inspiration. And I'm getting there. Slowly but surely, things are heading in that direction, and I've been slowly raising my expectations for myself. But I'm realizing I don't want to be where I was, because I will just burn myself out again. I don't want to have my expectations that high. There needs to be balance. And I'm realizing that so much in pretty much every aspect of my life. I need balance and I need stability. For a minute there, I kind of got a little obsessed with the idea of things eventually being completely balanced and staying that way. And I kind of had to let go of that idea because it's not realistic. As I've come to learn over the last year, something will always knock me off my course. I can count on that. Life never goes exactly how you want it to. There are highs and there are lows, and there are reasons outside of my control for that. Even if I do get to a state where I feel completely balanced in all aspects of my life, I'm sure it won't last very long. Something will change. It's not about achieving such balance. It's about trying to be as balanced as I can with whatever circumstances I have right in front of me. And that in itself is exhausting, just thinking about. But all I can do is try, so I'm gonna give it a go again. This time, really making a conscious effort to be more gentle with myself, to give myself some grace when I feel like I'm not being productive enough. Instead of taking that as a failure, taking it as a sign that maybe things are a little imbalanced. Maybe I'm needing some more self-care. Maybe instead of working tonight, maybe I need to have some friends over and just have a good time and worry about it tomorrow. Maybe that's what I need to do to keep going right now. I'm just really happy to have some motivation back and to feel like I'm on the right track again. I'm also kind of scared because I only have 4 months now. August, September, October. I have less than 4 months. Time's ticking. And I've been slacking. And now there's a lot to do. But another thing I've realized is I don't have to do it all alone. I can ask for some help if and when I need it. I can't expect that help and I can't take advantage of that help, but it's not wrong to ask for help, especially in my position. And I'm having to remind myself pretty often of the position that I'm in, of everything on my plate, to really put it into perspective. Because it's a lot easier to not be so hard on myself when I remember I'm a single mom to 2 little girls, 4 and 2 years old. They need me, they rely on me, I do everything for them. That's a lot of responsibility. I manage my own home by myself. I do all of the chores, I cook all of the meals, I make sure there's snacks and food in the fridge and juice. I provide for us by making videos. Every week I worry about what video I'm gonna post. Is anyone even gonna watch it? I posted a sit-down video last week, so I doubt they want another one of those. What should I do instead? And I film it, and I edit it, and I post it. And I'm also trying to build my own separate business, doing freelance videography. I've had to make extra time to go on shoots for that, make sure I have childcare during those times, editing all of those side projects. I have like 5 different side projects right now that I'm working on. I've practically doubled my workload over the last 6 months, and I'm getting used to having that much editing to do. I'm trying to work on myself. I go to therapy. I'm constantly analyzing every situation, asking myself, what is the right thing to do? What aligns with my values? And trying to stay true to myself with every decision that I make and every thought that I have, and tearing down thoughts that I don't agree with. For someone who struggles with mental illness, just staying mentally well, it takes a lot of effort. And I'm also trying to be a good friend, a good sister, a good daughter, just trying to be there for the people in my life the best that I can, trying to make time to have a social life and allow room for those people. And I'm grieving. Of course, I never forget that, but I forget how heavy that is and how much that affects me. And if I don't take time to sit with those feelings and to grieve, it comes up at the worst times. And it's much more painful when it comes up like that. If I'm not intentional in my grieving process, there's consequences. And I'm also just trying to teach myself at the age of 21 how to live, how to be an adult. I'm teaching myself lessons that I'm also simultaneously trying to teach to my daughters, things that I was never taught. I didn't have a very traditional childhood. It was very chaotic. I had 5 siblings, my parents were young, there was a lot going on, and there's a lot that I just wasn't taught. I wasn't taught how to handle any of this, any of the stuff on my plate. I'm learning so much, and I'm teaching it all to myself. And most people my age, they're in college. The only thing they really have to worry about is themselves and their grades and their future. They don't have the pressure of guiding these young kids who are turning into their own people. And as I'm realizing how much guidance I was lacking as a child, I'm realizing how much they need me. And it's so scary because sometimes I can't even be there for myself. And it's just all a lot. It's overwhelming. And when I look at it all, I look at the big picture of everything I have going on, all the different pressures, not even including the pressures I put on myself. How can I be so hard on myself? How can I be so mean to myself? My life is not easy. I don't mean to come on here and complain and be like, oh, woe is me. My life is so hard. In many ways, I'm very lucky to live the life I do, and things could be a lot worse. And it's still really, really, really hard sometimes. But I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And I always get back up. And I always try again. And I'm learning the lessons. And I'm getting better and better at just living and being happy. And I'm really proud of myself. And I think about what things will be like on the other side of this phase of my life where everything is so overwhelming and I'm trying to find balance. And there's a lot going on and I'm moving in 3 months, but eventually I'll be at a different phase in my life. And the girls will grow older and I'll grow older and I'll have learned all those lessons, and they'll help me to make the right choice for us and continue to do so. And I'll continue to grieve and I'll continue to miss them, but hopefully one day the pain won't feel so infinite and I'll be happy. I'm happy now, but I'll be so happy and I'll be so fulfilled, and it won't feel like a battle every day. And I'll be balanced, and I'll get better and better at finding my balance, and I'll just figure it out, you know? I don't have it figured out yet. I'm getting there. One day things will be different from how they are now, and it's okay to feel how I feel now, because it won't last forever. I won't be here forever. I won't even be here in 3 months. Everything will change, and hopefully for the better. And it's what I make of it. And I want to build a life that is stable and functional and sustainable. And it's going to take a lot of work to get there. But at least that's where I'm headed. And at least I can see it. This is just me giving myself a little pep talk. That's really what this video is. So thank you guys for listening to it. Maybe you relate in some way. And if so, I hope things get better for you too. Keep going. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, Camille.